Welcome, my friends, to the Water is Life podcast, where we dive deep into the currents of wisdom, science, and spirit to reconnect with water as a living intelligence. Today, I'm joined by two incredible visionaries whose work fuses natural law and advanced technology to revitalize water and, through it, life itself. Hans Schockenbroek is the founder of Dragonfly Water Solutions, a company pioneering technologies that vitalize water and optimize living and working environments. He believes that helping plants, animals, and people return to balance starts with good quality water, the source of all life. And alongside Hans is Peter Smits, a seasoned international commercial manager who has worked across FMCG and agriculture, developing sustainable solutions in Africa and beyond. Peter brings a grounded entrepreneurial energy to his mission of marrying commercial success with the restoration of nature's balance. Together, they're on a mission to awaken the waters of the world. And in this episode, we dive deep into QELBY ceramics, exploring how these miraculous chi balls or energy balls infuse drinking water and baths with quantum energy, transforming water into structured, oxygen-rich, electron-charged elixirs that support deep cellular hydration, detoxification, longevity, and even regeneration. If you've ever wondered how to easily and affordably turn your drinking water into an elixir that doesn't just satisfy thirst, but actively imparts life, this is the conversation for you. And of course, you can find the QELBY ceramics that we're discussing today at www.waterislife.shop, and you can use the code WaterIsLife for 10% off. Find all the links in the show notes, and please join me in welcoming Hans Schockenbroek and Peter Smits. Before we get our feet wet with this week's topic, make sure you're subscribed so you always get the current episode. And if you take a minute to write a review, this helps others to find this wellspring of hydrating wisdom too. I pour out my thanks to you for taking the time to water this podcast so it can grow by sharing your review. Hans and Peter, welcome to the Water is Life podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you guys here. The last time we connected was back in 2022 when you were sharing with me some of your beautiful passions and endeavors and projects around water. And when you reached out again to say that you are now involved with QELBY ceramics, which I've been looking for a good source of QELBY ceramics for years. I got so excited and I was so happy to get to talk to you both again. So welcome. It's my joy to have you on the show.
Well, thank you for having us. It's a joy to see you again and to reconnect. And hopefully we can inspire your listeners and you on the QELBY products. And let's take it away.
Absolutely.
We're just extremely humbled that we're on Water is Life.
Water is life, and you guys know that better than anyone else. I just learned before the show that you guys have opened an entire water playground in Amsterdam, so I'm just gunning to get there as soon as I can. That sounds like so much fun, and you've really devoted your lives to water for the past 6 years and become, experts in your own right. So I'm really excited for that wisdom to be passed along to our listeners today. And I think a good place to start is we're going to talk about QELBY water and QELBY baths and how QELBY affects your internal bio waters. But first, can we just start off with what are QELBY ceramics? And what are living ceramics? What makes a ceramic something that could possibly be alive or give life force energy to water? I think this is a really new topic for most people. And so let's just start with the basics.
Have you got 4 hours? No. Yeah, actually, the word somatids actually meant nothing to me like 6 months ago. I really hadn't heard of it. And although we've always live blood, people that look at live blood, very few people do that. But when we got into contact with Michel Aerts and Luc Meeuwissen, who, spirit guides us, and suddenly our attention was drawn to a LinkedIn profile, and I reached out, and because I thought, wow, QELBY sounds great, but I didn't really know about all this stuff. And the bottom line is that I think Geesens, which was a Belgian professor, he called it somatids, but Willem Reich called them bions, and Béchamp called them microzema. And there are these little, if you look at blood under a dark field microscope, you can see the red blood cells, but in between you see these very tiny specks, and they move. And the more you have of these tiny specks, the healthier you are. And these are the somatids, what Geysens called them. And if I would describe it right now, I would say that somatids are everywhere. I mean, without life, there are no somatids. If you pass over and your body disappears, transforms, then the somatids are still there. One way of explaining what somatids are, and these are contained in these QELBY ceramic bowls. It's a concentration of somatids. Is that somatids, I think, try to create the optimum conditions for life. So the more you have them, the better the conditions for life are, and then you get to Schauberger, where if the energy is high, then Mother Nature doesn't have to send in the cleaning troops, i.e. the biofilms, the fungi, all the guys that help us, the bad bacteria, to clean up the mess. And the wonderful thing about somatids, which are concentrated in these bowls, in the QELBY bowls, QELBY stands for quantum energy living bodies. They're literally living bodies. And they just help to increase the energy of the field wherever they are. And that's the essence of what QELBY does. Wherever you put QELBY, the energy goes up. Mm-hmm. That's how I would describe it in a very short way.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful description. I remember when I first saw somatids under a microscope. This was probably 2014 or 2015, long before I was aware of terrain theory. I wasn't familiar with Béchamp yet, any of that. But I remember looking at my blood under a dark field microscope, and there were all of these buzzing little white lights that were just these bright little specters. Of course, you had many of them. There were quite a few, and I was thinking, what in the world is this? I've never heard of anything in your blood other than, cells or perhaps, toxins or all the things that people are generally familiar with. But the fact that Western medicine just writes off this whole classification of entity that exists within our blood that's so glaringly obvious when you look at the blood in a microscope, and Western medicine just says, oh, that's just some random anomaly and it doesn't matter. Whereas when you really look at it, and especially, what's come to light within the past, I would say, I don't know, couple hundred years since Béchamp, and since people have really been looking into this, it really is kind of the foundation, this foundational element of life. And I remember reading one time that if you take a somatid, it can turn into anything else in the body. It's like the stem cell of all stem cells, so to speak. It's not a stem cell, but insofar as a stem cell can become other things in the body, somatids can grow and develop into anything that your body needs. So the more you have, just the more vibrance, vitality, life force, and youth you have access to. But it generally declines over age, and to have an external source of somatids like QELBY ceramics is really rare and special.
Yeah, I would add to that I would say it is a life force, and life force in building cells, you need electricity. So you need voltage, and the somatids will add voltage to your cells. Dr. Tennant in America has written a few books about that and made a couple of actually machines and tools to improve that. But your body works, your limbs and actually your faces is a very important part of your body, and it's connected to your muscles, and your muscles have the capability to charge your batteries. And why do you need that charge? You need that charge in your cells, because in a cell is a plus and a minus. And if you are sick, you get a plus in your cell, and if you have a healthy cell, you have something like a minus 25 millivolts. But for a cell to really produce and really add and split and grow, you need a minus 50 millivolts to 100 millivolts. And that's exactly what these somatids in concentrated form do to your water. And well, if you go to water, any solid stuff that comes in contact with water will take over. So you put these balls in your drinking bottle, but you can also do them I do it in my test garden, so to grow small plants. But you can also do it in your fish tank. So to add this extra voltage to your water will create an enormous effect. Obviously not after drinking one glass, but if you start drinking that on a continuous basis, you will you will increase your level of voltage in your batteries. And obviously, you have to look to see if your polarization in your batteries is still good. So charge your batteries, because that will actually give you a total health. But it is amazing to see. I mean, I can actually show you here in my kitchen. I have a few small plants, and they sprout really quickly because of these QELBY balls. It's really...
Actually, did you know that Peter's 100 years old? I mean, you wouldn't believe it, would you?
You'd never guess. How long have you been using QELBY? If I could start now, can I look back at 100?
Like in 3 months. I mean, you go like,
no,
whoa.
but seriously, we are great fans of Schauberger, and we're great fans of...
I'll actually get some, yeah.
No, we're actually great fans of true natural technologies, and a natural technology for us is a technology that doesn't use electricity, doesn't need maintenance, and doesn't need chemicals, right? And that's what QELBY is. You just buy them once, they work forever, they will work after you've passed over, and that's a true natural technology.
Well, here you go. Here are your QELBY balls in just a jar of rosemary, and they really turbocharge the sprout of the roots.
Wow.
Instead
Beautiful.
of 3 to 4 weeks, it's 2 weeks, and then you can plant them. So
that's how you became father. Hey.
Yes, well, you do other things to become father, but
Either way, it takes a lot of somatids. There's a lot of somatids going around in every case.
And at my age, it's wonderful to receive another child and to see that growing up. And obviously, if you use natural remedies and natural foods and good foods, and you look after your body and look after your environment, yeah, things can happen and do happen in a natural way. So.
And you're clearly incredibly hydrated. You know, one of the things that I talk to my clients about is the fact that cellular voltage and hydration are a 1-to-1 ratio, because water is what conducts electricity throughout the body. So, you know, if you want more prana or mana or chi, you either need to get more hydrated by drinking good, high quality water, or go and do hydrating lifestyle practices like being in the sunshine or grounding in the earth or laughing, you know, all of these things.
Yeah.
They increase life force energy, they increase somatids, they increase your hydration. There's literally a 1-to-1 ratio. You can't have more cellular voltage without also being better hydrated, because it's that energy that's structuring the water in the cells and vice versa. So, you know, at this point, it reduces inflammation, it upregulates the ATP production. And I know that you guys have personally experienced, obviously, your story of becoming a father 15 weeks ago. Congratulations. Like the vitality that's possible when you're already healthy, you can just continue feeling better and better. But what I'm really curious about as well is the stories of healing that you guys might have seen when people are able to rehydrate with QELBY water in this way, or take the QELBY baths. What are some of the recoveries? And obviously, without making any medical claims, I know we can't talk about things being cured necessarily, but it really supports the body's ability to heal itself. And there have been some really amazing transformations, you know, in Korea. I know they've seen, you know, people even recovering from things as severe as leukemia. So I would love to hear some more of those stories and what you guys have witnessed.
Yeah, well, I think Mr. Lee, who was the inventor of QELBY, he actually came on the path to explore this and came onto the discovery of QELBY by his mother dying. And his mother died in his house, and he sort of thought, like, how come in one house you get one bedroom where people die and the other bedroom people stay healthy? So he got really interested in why does that happen? And of course, it has to do with energy. And ultimately, this is how he came about. He literally had a mission. He's a chi master, and he discovered QELBY, and he started a health center in Pyongyang. We've got the testimonials, and if people want to see them, then we have them. And indeed, I mean, what they do there is this is a bathing protocol, but they also actually, QELBY comes in all sorts of stuff. They come in jewelry. They actually can infuse it into fabric, so you can put it into clothing. You can put it into, we have like charging packs, which you can put into bath. But the main thing that they do in Pyongyang is they have these baths they're literally filled with 120, 150 kilos of these bowls, which is not very practical for home.
No.
No, but I really want to try it.
No, but they have people coming from all over, and they go into the baths twice per day for an hour. And the water, actually, somatids get excited by heat and by light, so they have the water at about 40 degrees C.
As hot as you can take
I
it.
don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Sorry, Isabel, but yeah, the results are just absolutely amazing. And I think it all comes back to, it's literally, yeah, giving high energy to your body, and that's as simple as it gets. And one of the nice things that we like about QELBY is actually, if you're just talking about the drinking water, and I'll get back to the bath protocol, is that it's so simple. You can actually measure it, because Gerald Pollack actually did a paper with Mr. Lee. Gerald Pollack, of course, for most viewers, they know that he wrote The Four Phases of Water. And if you look at cells, then there's a very big correlation between, cells being negatively charged and the amount of H2O2, which is negative in your cells. And he proved that simply by putting QELBY into water, the pH goes up. So it becomes more alkaline, but it goes actually up by producing more H2O2. And this is where it's very different to other technologies. Yeah, so that's it's so simple, because you can literally stick in a pH meter and you can see that it works. It works, and it works always. And yeah, there's so much potential for QELBY, and we've only started scratching the surface, because we've just started in Europe, and we're selling across the world right now, but we're looking for distributors and resellers all over. But we started with the drinking water, just to make people aware of what QELBY is. But the potential is like people that have all sorts of, you can go anywhere with it. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But if you really are chronically ill, then you're looking at this bathing protocol. People then start wearing the shirts, and so that's the spectrum of chronically ill people. And can they be helped? Yeah, they can be.
And I think to add to that is you can also grind down the balls into powder, and it's because obviously we were talking about cell level. Some of it are very, very, very small, but are very, very powerful and very condensed. They're actually very powerful in a small form. And so if you make powder with it and you add it to a normal paint, like oil-based paint or water-based paint, you can actually paint your walls with that. And it will actually give you an energetic protection from a negative Wi-Fi or any EMF smog, and it will confine the energy in the room. And we gave this to a new wellness center in Ireland, Life 5D Health. They painted their whole unit, something like 300 square meters, and actually people walk in and they feel like, what is going on here? They feel the energy coming literally from the walls. And actually a nice anecdote was a friend of ours, a doctor friend. He's now 74 and regular visits our shop because he likes to keep involved in everything we do new. And we gave him 50 grams of this paint powder. He put it in the paint, and he started straight away painting the ceiling of his bedroom. And the other day he came in, and he was like really shoulders back, chest forward, really present. And I said, Pete, he's also the same name as me. I said, Pete, what happened? And I said, well, the last 2-3 weeks, I'm sleeping because of this ceiling I've painted of energy. I'm dreaming, I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm really feeling energized like never before. And yeah, that obviously comes back to your biggest healing point is your sleep. And in your sleep, you heal the best because you don't get bothered by your brain, but finally your body can take over and start doing what it needs to do and healing. So QELBY powder in the paint is something that is one of the avenues that's gonna be really, really big in the next coming years. Because
That's incredible, and it's so important. I think most people don't realize that one of the number one, if not the number one, dehydrating factor in the modern lifestyle is EMF exposure, and
yes,
that no matter how high quality the water that we're drinking is, if we're in the presence of really strong man-made electromagnetic fields, your
exactly.
cells literally cannot draw water across because that osmotic process is a hydroelectric process. It runs on electricity. And if that voltage is off because you're resonating to the strongest frequency in your environment, which is a Wi-Fi router or 5G or just electro smog, then you don't. Yeah, or the Bluetooth headphones, things like that, then your cells can't draw that water across to get hydrated, and they can't detoxify the used water out of the cells either. So the number one thing that I usually address with my one-on-one clients is, well, one of the number one things. It's different from person to person, but one of the number one things is for sure electromagnetic field radiation, and what are the ways that they can start mitigating that and implementing that in like a lifestyle hydration strategy. And when it comes to the quality and the availability of truly viable EMF products on the market, there's such a broad spectrum, and it's really hit or miss. And
Yeah.
on my site, I try to be really conscientious, and I only put the things on there that like I can really vouch for. But my God, it's such a flooded market. So when I saw that you guys have powdered QELBY ceramics that you can just mix with paint, this seems like such a simple and elegant solution, and it's for sure actually effective, which is
Yes.
beautiful to be able to recommend that. And it's super affordable too. And I saw how much you guys were charging for that powder. I don't know how you stay in business.
Yeah, we should charge more. We should charge more.
Oh,
No.
Hans,
We're going to get it in every household at this price.
No.
Friends, do you ever feel overwhelmed by the wild world of water tools, filters, vortexers, minerals, magic, etc.? Or maybe sometimes you crave something deeper, like guidance for your water ceremonies, your altar practices, or your water prayer rituals. Either way, I'd love to invite you into a private one-on-one hydration consultation with me. It's a full hour of personal time, my undivided attention to support you on your water path in whatever way is most important to you. We'll address your individual questions, concerns, priorities, and help you navigate the often overwhelming world of water wisdom. Whether you want to chat about the esoteric mystical side of water and develop your water communion, prayer, and ceremonial practices, or as most people do, maybe you want help navigating the thousands of listings available at waterislife.shop to determine your own personalized hydration strategy that fits your unique needs, whether that's a travel protocol with portable tools or a whole home setup that fits your budget, your source water, and your family's priorities, be they farming or raising healthy children or supporting immunity and recovery or longevity and just wildly thriving in the living waters of the fountain of youth. This hour is practical, it's personal, and it's about empowering your unique water path. So book your private session now at waterislife.academy, and let's get you flowing with customized clarity, confidence, and crystalline vitality.
But what's beautiful is it's not like a Faraday cage. With a lot of EMF things, it's a Faraday cage, which in some ways just creates an echo chamber for the EMF frequencies. But with this, it doesn't block them, it just harmonizes them so they actually become compatible with biology, which I think is a really, like I said, elegant solution.
You're saying something very, very important, because we have a natural sound system, which is nothing to do with QELBY, but it's one of the things that came on our path, which is the only sound system that actually produces natural sound. And we have that at the back of our shop. And we painted only the back of our shop because we wanted to let people experience what the difference is. And we've actually found, and this is true harmonic natural sound. And when we painted the ceilings and the walls with QELBY powder, the sound changed. It actually improved. It was amazing. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to have to talk to my music producer friends about this.
Yes. No, they're all invited to our little workshop shop, and everybody's welcome there and to experience, because that's really our experience center. And yeah, we can show people what the difference is between good water, really charged water, the difference between distilled water, but also any water supplements and adding electrolytes or minerals, and obviously the good ones and not all the crap ones, because that's important. And we really see our mission now as building our, we actually discussed it this morning, to really rebrand the shop as a health and wellness center where people can come to start understanding how the body works, what you can do, why certain illnesses are very chronic, why certain illnesses have occurred in their bodies. And so we help people along in providing information and in providing tools for them to heal themselves, because in our minds, you can only heal yourself. We cannot heal anybody, and we do not pretend to heal anybody. So we only provide the tools and the insights. We have a library of over 500 books, I think, where you can read any stuff on natural healing or where certain things come from. So it all starts with information. It all starts with implementation, but also experiencing, because everybody is different. Everybody is different. Everybody is different, literally. And you must know that if you work one-on-one with people that have problems drinking enough water or understanding how you hydrate, because the hydration protocol that we actually promote is not so much drinking water, but it's more showering or bathing in water, which is a different way of your body looking for fluids. And coming back to the QELBY bath solution, when you sit in it, you make it as hot as you can take, around 39, 40, 41 degrees. The balls radiate more, and they give a sauna effect without the penetrating heat. So a detox is like, for the first 4 or 5 times you go in a bath like that, it's like a super detox. Your skin is just exploding all the shit out of there, literally. And after that, you obviously, if you are detoxed and you are off your medication and you're back into a natural rhythm and you put your body in balance again, it then can start the healing journey. And if you then understand where your illness comes from which traumas, from which starting points, from how did you actually occur, or how does your body hold this illness with you, there's where we see big changes. And you can tell somebody why he is sick and why he got sick, and you can attend to that. And then we give him things like, okay, start with QELBY. You don't need to drink 3 liters of water a day, because that flushes your kidneys. Bad water will force you to drink 3 liters to get in any effect. With QELBY water, you can just drink 1 liter. It's more than enough. You don't need to drink much. As long as it's good, you have the effects. And you know that as no other, is that people are lured into water bottle marketing. And they take PET bottles and they don't understand that there's plastic in it, and they don't understand that water that is stagnant and packaged and filtered and stored in storerooms and stacked on top of each other is not happy water. It's not vital water. It's wet. We call it wet and dead. And the journey for that part of people experiencing what water actually does to you is not so much, oh, try this. No, it's to really inform them and say, okay, this is how your body works. This is what it needs. And this is what happens when you drink low pH water. This is when you drink more mineralized water. And if you etc. And you have to do your own research, literally, and find out, oh, hang on, if I drink proper water, then it will actually have an effect. And if I stop taking sugar or oatmeal or any of the other processed foods, and let's do that for a week and not eat processed food. Just try it. I mean, go out there and try it. It's because like I said, every body's body reacts differently. And everybody is in a different age group or in a different condition or environment. And so if you can protect your environment with more energetic surroundings, it's very important.
Actually, it triggers me that one thing that, and I think, Isabel, you're exactly the same. I mean, water is alive. Life is movement, right? So water needs to move.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the amazing things is that if you let QELBY water, if you put QELBY, like I have this water bottle, which is actually, it's a copper water bottle, which I use for playing golf. I mean, we're still members of a golf club, and we do this stuff where we walk with people who have no clue what we're talking about. But the amazing thing that I found is that the water still is fresh. It's the first time ever. So, like, we have these water filters, right? I mean, a lot of people now buy these water filters, but that's stagnant water. And initially, that's not what we think water should be. But amazingly, since we put in the QELBY bowls, for some reason it stays fresh. I've never ever experienced that with anything else. It goes against everything that I knew about water, because I think water needs to move, and it has to do with whatever energy comes out of the QELBY bowls. It's just, yeah, amazing.
Absolutely. It's like it creates a field of coherence that really just preserves the vitality. Typically with stagnation, like you said, water, when it stagnates, it loses its molecular structure, it loses its crystallinity, it becomes bulk water, it becomes comatose, it's dormant, and doesn't have anywhere near the level of access to its energetic capacities or to its capabilities of information, passing information, or carrying vibrational frequencies. But with QELBY, the water actually resists biofilm growth. It resists algae growth. It can even increase oxygen production, which is incredible. Can you explain more about that? How does it, especially different areas physiologically, like with the eyes, like the fact that it's able to increase oxygen production in areas like the eyes. I mean, this is groundbreaking when you think of how many people are suffering from macular degeneration and poor eyesight and things like that, that honestly, you can trace chronic dehydration to every single vision problem. And, dehydration, of course, is so much more than just drinking enough water. Like we've been saying, it's what is the structure of your internal waters? What is the cellular voltage and the vitality of those cells? What is the oxygenation, which of course is carried through the internal biowater? So how can something like QELBY support people in hydrating these, harder to reach areas of their bodies, like the eyes?
Well, it's actually, this is where we're both, I think, Peter, I mean, I can call you a professor. You are a water professor, really, really. We actually started early in our journey with water. We came across you. And I think we work a little bit differently in that you would want to probably ask Michel Arts, who was asked by Mr. Lee to bring QELBY back into the world. He used to work with Luc Montagnier. So, I mean, he would be dying to spend 2 hours with you explaining all this in detail. All I know, and my Hopi grandmother always said, Hans knows nothing.
That's true.
Which is the wisest phrase of all, honestly.
I know nothing.
And I completely attest to that. I know nothing. But yeah, and it has been proven that QELBY actually doubles the oxygen in water. So apart from creating HCO2, it actually does that as well. And yeah, so it just works. I mean, this is one thing we started in January, and we're now I'm about to send out an email to all our clients and saying, guys, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your testimonials. Yeah. And we're getting a lot of positive testimonials spontaneously, and it really, it's just amazing. I just got a reseller here today. And here, dear Hans, I've been drinking the QELBY water and bathing in hot water for a few days now with the small pack. We have these charging packs, which are literally, they have these bowls, because it's not practical for home use to have, to fill your bath with 120 kilograms of QELBY balls. It's expensive as well. I mean, that's typically something that we're definitely looking for clinics to do that. But it's, there must be a dedicated place. But we have these charging packs. They call them charging packs in 3 sizes, and you can take them into the bath. Like, if, for instance, you have somebody here and you have a small charging pack, you basically place it over and you put it into the water. So it's actually, So it's a substitute. It's not as powerful, but
It does the trick. So
no, it does part of it. It really QELBY is for people keeping healthy people healthy, and it's if you take the bathing protocol and everything, the whole shebang, that's for chronically ill people. But this is what he said. He said, I've been drinking QELBY water and bathing in hot water for a few days now with the small pack that you sent me, and this was spontaneous. The impression is very good. I had lost my hearing after a cold months ago in my right ear, and it may be coincidence, but with 2 baths, I have regained my hearing. And we get lots and loads of people that actually feel tingling, and of course everybody's different and everybody reacts differently. But
Well, I'm very excited to try it. I have had QELBY on my list. It's been one of my dream list items for my bougie water alchemy addiction for years.
Yes.
And I love taking baths, obviously. So I'm excited to try these packs. And like you said, it's for keeping healthy people healthy. And when your body goes off balance, it's because you're dehydrated, and dehydrated means your body isn't producing enough ATP and cellular voltage. It means that you have more inflammation. It means, all of these downstream effects of dehydration. And if there's something that can address that root problem, we all have different bodies. We all have different needs. We all have different expressions of dehydration, depending on your genetic predispositions. Dehydration will express differently in every body. But when you center water, the primacy of water, and the fact that we're 70% water by volume, but 99.95% water by molecular count, when you center that primarily, it is such a root cause protocol that is beneficial for everyone in taking them to the next level of their health and wellness, regardless of where they're starting. So if somebody were just starting out in implementing QELBY ceramics, it's such a new and strange thing. No one thinks about putting little balls in your water. It's very out of the norm. So can you describe, how do people actually use them? I feel like you've really shared the bathing protocol so perfectly. Thank you. I want to go take a bath right now. For the people who want to use it for their drinking water, do you keep the balls in there constantly? Do you have to wash them? Do they break down in the water? If they last forever, how is it possible that the universal solvent doesn't dissolve them into the water? How does this work?
Okay.
Oh well, it's like I said, they're small batteries, but you charge them by.
Is that a Mayu glass?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Actually.
Love Mayu. They're great.
Yes. You just put them in a bottle, and that's it, and then they're activated. Obviously, when you take them out of the packs, there's some little discrepancy dust, like a little stone dust, like mineral dust. So you rinse them with a little bit of warm water. You put them in the bottom of your carafe or a drinking bottle, like Hans was explaining, in a copper bottle, which is obviously nicer. You can take any bottle. You put in 100 grams for like 1 liter. It activates straight away. You can leave them in. It will not go biofilm, it will not go algae, it will not get an additional taste. It's completely neutral. What will happen is the pH, potential hydrogen, will go up in the water. The oxygen will go up in the water, and that's it. And you drink, we are in Holland, we're quite lucky with the tap water. Just put tap water in, it's activated. Or you can put any other water in there, as long as it's filtered and good. Obviously,
I think this is an important distinction too, that the balls themselves don't actually filter the water, but if you're using already filtered or otherwise clean, like spring water, it's going to prevent the need for additional filtration, because it's going to prevent anything from growing in there that you wouldn't necessarily want.
So these standard gravity filters, where you have like a tank, like a normal tank with a little tap, and you filter it through a ceramic filter on top.
Like a little spigot like that?
Yeah, one of those. And there you put like 200 grams of QELBY in. You would not need to clean it. It will stay fresh, because that's also stagnant water. So the stagnant water will be activated by the electric charge from the somatids. And that's the nice thing about it. And obviously, if you're using well filtered good water, you don't need to drink that much. So especially for elderly people that have trouble drinking water. And the reason for that is because they drink a lot of bad water. They drink a lot of coffee and tea, and they don't really enjoy drinking good, healthy water. As soon as you start drinking this type of water, good filtered water, they will actually say, why am I drinking tea? Why am I drinking coffee? I only want to drink this. And that's where you start seeing the improvements and people enjoying it again, in enjoying a glass of water and being able to pair it and not drink alcohol or tea or coffee, and see water as their first medicine, as I see it. Water is the first medicine. So
I think it was Da Vinci who said something like, water is the only drink for the intelligent man. I might be butchering the quote, but something like that. Da Vinci was like, oh yeah, water is the only drink that makes sense.
Yes, because like you said,
Schauberger said, water is Mother Earth's firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's logic, like you said, when you need to take care of your body, but like you said, 99% we are water molecules. So that means if I drink bad water, my whole system will react to it. If I drink good water, my whole system will react to it. When I speak and take care of my body, I take care of my water levels, my hydration. So if I dance, if I laugh, if I have the right frequency, if I'm in the right building, if I'm hugging a tree or walking in nature, or put my feet earthing on the ground or in the ocean and walk the beach, it's logic that if you drink proper water, you just juvenize, you just make your body happy. And whatever else you put in there, it's not necessary. You can just live off water. I mean, like animals do. They just live off water and are healthy.
Friends, as a woman who's a natural beauty enthusiast, I'm going to be real with you. If you're investing in high-quality skincare products, but you're still washing your face with tap water that's full of chlorine, chloramine, heavy metals, microplastics, etc., what are you even doing? That water is sabotaging your skin, seriously. Now, my solution is this. If you're a renter, or if a whole home solution just doesn't make sense for you right now, get the FilterBaby bathroom faucet filter. It's one of the most transformational tools I've seen for skin health, especially for people struggling with acne, eczema, psoriasis, oily skin, or just dull, irritated skin in general. The before and after photos are truly astounding. You have to go see them for yourself. Now, FilterBaby removes up to 99.9% of contaminants commonly found in tap water and is clinically tested and dermatologist approved to improve skin in as little as 2 weeks. It protects your skin barrier, hydrates your skin deeply, reduces dryness and irritation, balances your skin's pH, promotes a youthful glow, prevents clogged pores, soothes sensitive skin, fights free radical damage, helps clear acne, and improves skin longevity. It's 100% guaranteed to fit your sink, whatever the faucet size, and is simple to install by yourself. With over 6,000 5-star reviews backing it up, this is the skincare faucet filter. And it even looks nice and aesthetic, so it won't clash with your bathroom decor. Once again, if you're spending hundreds on skincare but haven't addressed the water you're washing with, you're putting the cart before the horse. My philosophy in life in general is always to start with water first and go from there. So check out FilterBaby in the Embody collection under the Hydrating Skincare section at waterslife.shop and prepare to be blown away by healthy, glowing skin within weeks.
Well, I never see a cow drinking tea or coffee or a good glass of white wine. No, we humans destroy ourselves by all these distractions. Because,
but I do like my glass of wine, though.
We still love a good glass of wine, but we know what the difference is.
You could even put QELBY ceramics in your glass of wine and structure that. I mean, wine has got to be at least 80% water, right?
Well, actually, we did use the Mayu at one point in time to actually improve wine as well. So, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I had a connoisseur come over to my house one time who was thinking about creating his own line of wines. And we had about 5 different bottles of different kinds of wines. And we tried every single water structuring, water alchemy tool that I had at my disposal with every different kind to see, because it does genuinely change the flavor Some it's a lateral move, some it improves the flavor, some it actually is not as tasty after you structure it. I think it really just depends on the blend and also the structuring method. Some of the methods you would structure the wine and pretty consistently with every type, it was not as tasty, even though obviously it was healthier and you're not going to get as much of a hangover from it. It's going to be, you're going to need to drink less of it to feel a little bit of a buzz. Like it has its benefits other than taste. But then there were some methods that I used, like specifically the Lila Quantum charging block, that made every wine taste better. So
Really?
it's interesting.
Share.
It's so good. Are you familiar with Lila Quantum?
No.
Oh, they're a fantastic company. I love these guys. They basically have created these quantum energy charging tools. Gosh, one of them is in the kitchen right now, but oh, I have the coaster here. So they have blocks where you can put anything inside the block, and then they have coasters and frequency cards as well that are attuned to specific frequencies and intentions. But what I find most compelling about them is that the Emoto Institute in Japan has received probably every single water structuring device that has ever come on the market so that they can take their proprietary photographs of the crystals. And when Lila Quantum sent their blocks there, it was the only device that the Emoto Institute ever endorsed to such an extent that they said, we want to start helping you guys get these in Japan. We want to start carrying these here because, the two main factors that they look for is how quickly does the water structure, and then also across how much of the samples that they take, how many of the samples are significantly crystallized. So one of the things that I don't like about the Emoto method, to be honest, is that it's very misleading. You can take 500 photos of a sample of water, and there's maybe one photo that's crystallized, and that's the one that you publish, which makes it look like this device creates that crystallization across all water. But it doesn't tell you the ratio, how much of the water is actually structured, how strong is the structure.
To it, yes.
There's subjectivity, exactly. So long story short, with the Lila Quantum devices, they found it to be the most effective structuring method in terms of the
I don't
breadth.
think they've actually tried QELBY yet, so we need to organize.
I know, I was just thinking that you guys have got to send QELBY over to the Emoto Institute. It's going to blow them out of the water, literally.
There's one of the assistants of Emoto. She lives in Germany, and I met her about 5 years ago or something. I spoke to her. Because taking a photograph of some of the vitalizers, we sell a few vitalizers, water vitalizers. We have a couple of brands, and we want to have an Emoto picture of one of the vitalized water. And she said she was also doing that in Düsseldorf or in Cologne. That's great. And where's Lila coming from?
The founder, Philip, lives in New Mexico, right outside of Santa Fe. I'm not sure where the company headquarters is, but they work with Ian Mitchell as their lead scientist, who's also the lead scientist of Wizard Sciences. And they're working on actually creating this really amazing, super low deuterium, super highly oxygenated water that Ian is making, with the potential of it being actually as affordable as Aquafina, which would blow everything else, out of the industry when it comes to deuterium depleted or oxygenated water. So I would love to connect you guys. Actually, you would have
great.
epic conversations. I just know.
Actually, that's one of the things about QELBY is that because it's a natural technology, because we're looking at price. Is it worthy?
Mm-hmm.
But it works the entire life. So it's and that's actually what we're finding is that people that understand, they just know, okay, I buy this once and I can use it for the rest of my life. And that's an important part of it.
It really is. I mean, that's so important. It's not a consumable. It's a one-time investment, and then your water will be improved for the rest of your life. And I think there are so many interesting applications of it too. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. You can also, so I now have it in a water bottle, and now the water bottle is finished. Now I can use it in my plants for a week. So, and then I can put it back in my water bottle again. So
we have it in our water kettle. We have it in our distiller. We have it in the water distiller. We have it everywhere.
in our coffee machine, where there's a water reservoir, we put the QELBY balls in. We have a kettle, we put the QELBY balls in, because the QELBY balls are produced or baked actually at 1100 Celsius. So, and they still give off life. So they've been in an oven at 1100 degrees and they still give off life. That's
It's
how
incredible. They're invincible and so versatile, and there's so many applications. I heard you guys once share about an experiment where the Kelby seemed to actually extract salt from water without even direct contact. So how does its energetic properties allow this kind of mystery to happen? I mean, we say the applications are endless. They're really endless. How can it extract salt from water?
This is where, let life be life. I really don't know. I mean,
we don't
if you
know.
get into quantum mechanics, if you get into Mother Nature's real workings, I haven't got a clue, Isabel. I really don't. I really don't. But it does. It does. And I think it comes back to what I've said earlier, is that somatids try to create the optimum conditions for life. That's what their function is. That's why we thrive on somatids. We need somatids. That it's the life force. It's the chi.
Yeah. So
that's the simple answer.
We had our friend from Ireland, Mark Atwood, and he called them chi balls. And
I love that.
yeah, no, we loved it too. And he obviously said, "Well, that was my idea." So, well, okay, we'll reward you to it. That Mark, you invented the chi balls, but we will start selling them. And that actually really pinpoints what the balls do. Is they give that constant small charge that what your cells need. Small charge that never stops. It continues. It is not disrupted. It's on its own, and it's forever. And it has to obviously to do with the natural life cycle of everything, which you live, you die, you come back, and your leftovers are used for different components again. Our bodies are the building blocks of the generations to come and the plants to come, and whatever we do on Earth here, it's one big life cycle, and water plays a vital role in that. So that energy of breaking down and growing is essential. And now with these little balls, you can concentrate them in usage, and you can balance it on agriculture, like on hydroponics in big glass houses where they only use water. We haven't even introduced the QELBY balls. On the powder, on putting it inside fertilizer, natural fertilizer to fertilize your gardens. It's similar to that. We haven't even started there. So we're only starting now with the balls in the water, small. We start with the paint. We see where that goes. We try to establish to make sure that the factory in Korea starts running properly again, or on its full capacity. It runs on small capacity now, and we'll grow it. And it's a very exciting time to be part of it.
It's really exciting, and it's exciting that this is, about to catch a wave into public awareness. And what's beautiful is when you start understanding how the ceramics work, how somatids work, how hydration works. It really just leads you deeper into an understanding of life in general. Like you were saying, life is such a cycle. Life and death are so interconnected that we are a web of life, and the somatids never die. When our bodies pass away, our somatids become the life force of the soil and the microbiome and the mycology and the plants that grow from wherever we are buried, even if we're cremated. These somatids in the ceramics, they don't die even when they're burned 1,000 degrees Celsius. This is the invincibility of nature, and it's the invincibility of life, and water is life. This is what links all of us together. It's what connects every single being in this web of symmetry and coherence. And I feel like the more coherent our bio water is, when we really tend to our inner waters through practices like using QELBY ceramics, or mitigating EMF with QELBY paint, or all of these practices that hydrate us, we become more coherent, and thus we become a more integrated part of the wholeness of life.
Yeah,
Oh.
Oh, well spoken. No, it's that reconnection with nature and our place with nature. We take too much from nature. We should give much more back to nature. We should more
We
listen
are
to,
nature.
and we are nature. So we are part of that bigger life cycle. And yeah, as soon as you get to that conscious level of understanding that and doing your part, you only have to do your part. That's it. You don't need to become anything. You don't need to do anything. You can just be and follow your own spirit in that level and live a healthy life in nature with nature and play your role. Yeah, these QELBY balls just make it a lot easier. I mean, they just activate it. And yeah, it's.
Well, I'm so excited for all of the listeners to get to try this. Obviously, they're going to be available at waterislife.shop, where you can find all of the links to both the packs that you can bathe with and the balls themselves and the powder that you can put in your paint. Waterislife.shop is a directory of just the most well-curated, epic, unbelievable hydration finds like QELBY, which I'm genuinely thrilled to be able to bring to everyone or to help you guys bring them out to the world. I'm thrilled to be able to bring it to this audience after looking for them for so long. And thank you guys so much for the work that you're doing. Thank you for the bright lights that you are. Thank you for the research that you've done and the way that you embody truly what it means to be hydrated and thriving and to share that wisdom with the world that is so thirsty and needs it more than anything else. So the last question that I typically like to ask on the podcast is, if you had to take a stab in the dark, if you had to take a guess or just look into your heart, what does your intuition say? What is water?
Water is the divine. Water is life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we say water is life, life is water.
Mm-hmm.
Water is a living organism. It has a soul, it has spirit, it has all the wisdom that we encounter or have here on this planet and beyond. It's a source of understanding what we do here on the planet.
Well, I would say water is consciousness. Water is consciousness. Water is consciousness.
Yeah. So what you drink, you become. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. So it's, yeah, for us, we had to choose between fire, earth, air, and water won it straight away. It was, yeah, it's the most connective substance, element, spirit, consciousness on this planet. Everything is connected through water. The plants, earth, air, animals, humans, stones, tables, anything you see around you have water molecules in them. So for us, water is life and life is water.
Beautiful. I love that answer. Thank you guys so much. That was so succinctly profound and poetic, and it really is that simple and that deep and that complex, but also just that simple. So
that's what we call life simplex.
Simplex, I like that.
It's very simple in its origins, but it's extremely complex in its expressions.
Yes. Well, I feel like you guys have simplified something that's very complex today and made it digestible and understandable for all of the listeners and everyone watching. So I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate the calling that water has called us all to in the same way. Water has activated us and drawn us forward into this mission. And it's so dear to my heart to get to connect with other people who share the same mission and the same passion. So thanks for sharing your time with us today. And thank you to everyone who listened and everyone who watched. I hope you have a beautiful day. Be well, stay hydrated, and be water, my friend.
Friends, if you're loving what you're learning on the podcast and you want to dive deeper, check out the courses, webinars, workbooks, and private coaching available at waterislife.academy. These are on-demand, lifetime access programs where we dive into brand new concepts not taught here on the podcast. And if you're ready to optimize your water to be a healthy wellspring of hydration, discover the water alchemy tools that are available at waterislife.shop. And let's connect on Instagram. at Jen Isabel Friend. I look forward to seeing you there. Stay hydrated and be well.